your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Back out in the Matex Heating and Cooling Weather Garden, it is still pretty muggy out here this evening. You can tell based on our current temperature, 74 degrees in Champaign, 79 still in Decatur, 75 in Effingham, and also in places like Lincoln and Bloomington and Watseka. First mid-weather camera on a roof of Edina in Charleston does show that we've got some partly cloudy skies out there. And we are expecting more of that for the day tomorrow, with winds pretty light right now out of the south, so not much in the way of movement in terms of the wind speed out there. So very still and muggy tonight. We're talking basically the same forecast for tomorrow, hot and humid in a little bit. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
Is it truly anonymous? Will I be called on to testify?
Some people have a lot of questions about Crime Stoppers, how they cleared the air tonight to get more tips.
Plus, charges were dropped against a man whose wife fell to her death. Why it won't be the last time he's due in court.
Still hit pretty hard, especially watching these guys play.
He led his team to the state finals last year, but this season he's on the bench. Why a career-ending injury isn't keeping him down.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
I think there's a lot of misconception with Crime Stoppers.
But they're trying to change that. In 2019, tips to Vermilion County Crime Stoppers have led to 3 arrests. Those numbers could be much higher. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jessica Coons. Crime Stopper leaders from across the state are trying to figure out how to improve the tip numbers in Vermilion County. Tonight, they met to talk about ways to get people to share what they know about these crimes. Part of that includes reassuring people they can stay anonymous when giving tips. WCIA 3's Courtney Bunting was at that meeting. She joins us now. So, Courtney, how does Vermilion County compare to other areas when it comes to getting tips?
Well, Jessica, they're definitely on the low end. Now, we hear this word, anonymous, but how does that anonymity work? Some might even think calling in a tip puts them on a list for law enforcement. Crime Stoppers wants tonight to be the start of dispelling those myths.
Is it truly anonymous? Will I be called on to testify? Will I be called on to miss work?
It can be easy to be afraid to share information in connection to a crime. That fear could be contributing to a low number of tips in Vermilion County. Crime Stoppers is supposed to help eliminate it.
We're here not to really criticize, but we're here to offer best practices.
That's why Crime Stoppers leaders from across the state met with people in Danville on Tuesday night. They know community members often hold information crucial to investigations. In 2019 so far, $450 has been paid out to tipsters in Vermilion County. That's from 3 arrests. That's about average for the area.
We did have a tip that led to an arrest and a homicide. It was one where we wouldn't have much to go on, and that tip did a lot for us, and we were able to catch a guy for it.
But those tipsters have to feel comfortable coming forward. Something Crime Stopper leaders believe could improve if people understand how it works.
Like when somebody calls Crime Stoppers, it goes to Canada, a phone number is scrubbed, goes down to Dallas-Fort Worth, answered by a company down there that does most of Crime Stoppers across America.
So I think that your anonymity is your safety. And so that's a good way to think about it. Nobody actually knows. I've never known anybody who's called into Crime Stoppers, even as the state's attorney.
There are also other possible ways that Vermilion County Crime Stoppers could improve in the community they work in. Leaders in some areas advocate throughout the community by starting neighborhood watch groups or spreading information on college campuses. It all depends on how they, in particular, choose to move forward. Jessica.
Some good options for them there. All right, Courtney, thank you. The Vermilion County Crime Stoppers Board currently has 6 members. They are always looking to recruit more people. Anyone who's interested in getting involved in Crime Stoppers can contact their county's board. That information will be on our website, WCIA.com.
A staff member at Thomas Paine Elementary in Urbana is accused of sexually assaulting a student. The district says those involved are on leave while DCFS investigates. We spoke with the family's attorney, who says DCFS contacted the district over the weekend about the accusations. The lawyer says the child has special needs and the family is overwhelmed. We spoke with a neighbor who's shocked at the accusations.
I think we just got to get a handle on the protection of our kids, Got to put the kids first, their safety, their well-being.
Urbana Police says the staff member in question no longer has access to kids or any school facilities. Prosecutors dropped charges against a man from Taylorville, but that does not mean he's in the clear.
Bradley Jenkins was originally charged with felony domestic assault in the death of his 27-year-old wife, Alyssa Martin. WCIA 3's Mark Maxwell has more from Martin's former hometown in Lincoln.
Bradley Jenkins could have faced up to 4 years in jail had a grand jury convicted him on felony domestic assault charges. But prosecutors in St. Louis dropped those charges Tuesday morning when they missed a 90-day deadline to indict him. In a memo, the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office explained why they dismissed the case for now, saying, unfortunately, we are still awaiting evidence from police and the medical examiner that are required for the grand jury to decide this case. That evidence could tell us more about what happened June 1st, when police showed up to this parking garage outside a Cardinals game. Police said they found Jenkins drunk, angry, and covered in blood, standing over the dead body of his newlywed wife, 27-year-old Alyssa Martin. Police also recovered video from her cell phone, showing what led up to the altercation moments before she plunged 7 stories from that parking garage to her death.
This is the town square Alyssa Martin once called home. Her friends and family mourned her death at a funeral home just around the corner from here about 3 months ago. Tonight, those same friends and family, many of whom call this their home today, are feeling a mix of anguish, confusion, and a stinging, painful reminder that justice for Alyssa Martin's death might not come as soon as they had initially hoped. Reporting in Lincoln, Mark Maxwell, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Jenkins is scheduled to appear in court tomorrow morning. New prosecutors who are taking over the case do intend to bring new charges soon. Jenkins' defense attorney could not be reached for comment. New for you tonight, police are looking for a bank robbery suspect they say wore a fake beard and wig. Here's a picture. Officers in Watsika say this man came into the Farmers State Bank this morning. They say he showed a gun and got away with cash. If you know anything, you should call police.
Following up on a story from last night, questions remain in the village of Atwood after 3 board members and the village president resigned. This started in mid-July when then Atwood village president Brody Farrar installed video cameras in the police department that could record audio. We got public records showing he logged into the video streaming system numerous times between mid-July and mid-August. The chief is concerned about who else may have had access to the audio and video, and the police department is accusing the now former village president of eavesdropping.
Do you believe the mayor was trying to eavesdrop on the police department?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Because Art Urban, who you just saw there, didn't come to last night's board meeting, the village didn't have a quorum. No quorum means the village board can't do anything, including paying employees. A meeting has been scheduled for next Tuesday. Urban told us he'd be there, but payroll will be missed this Thursday. We also have a statement from the former village president in response to everything that's transpired. To see that, you can visit WCIA.com. New at 10, no one was hurt after a mobile home fire tonight. It happened just after 5:30 in the Oaks Mobile Home Park off Route 45 in Tolono. The fire department was called for a fire in one of the bedrooms. Everyone inside got out. Officials say there is smoke, water, and very little fire damage. The fire department says working a fire in a mobile home is more difficult than other homes.
Mobile homes are a little bit more confined than a residential home, so you got a little bit less room to work with, and sometimes they can catch fire a little bit quicker due to the material they're built out of. But thankfully, we were able to get a pretty good stop on it and minimal damage.
Savoy and Pasodum Fire Protection Districts also responded.
Also new for you tonight, Springfield City Council members took their first step to regulating recreational marijuana sales today. They agreed to move an ordinance forward that outlines where dispensaries can be located. It'll be voted on next week. This ordinance says recreational dispensaries will be subject to the same zoning laws as medical dispensaries. But the owner of HCI Alternatives in Springfield argues those restrictions should be tougher and include parks and churches.
Well, listen, you are trying to keep it away from kids. So you know what? A lot of times family are using the parks with their kids. So having a dispensary potentially right next door is probably not a good, I would say, even public perception situation. So you want to be able to at least say, hey, listen, you know what? We can stretch this setback out to 500 feet and it would be okay.
Next week's vote will not be the final vote. That'll come after the Regional Planning Commission takes a look at the plan.
You know the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Today, it took one to find a toddler who wandered off.
Plus, there will soon be a lot of sports under one roof. What's coming to Piatt County?
And Illinois football ranks in the top 20 defenses in the nation, where they say they still have room to grow.